Oh, he was on time this time. All right. Hey, it's Eliana from Dealer eProcess, booth 4301W. We've been broadcasting all day, and thank you so much for checking in with us. We have yet another amazing presenter here to drop some knowledge bombs on all of us and melt his faces with awesomeness. Okay, so here today, I have Matt Raymond. He is a 40 under 40, a winner. What? He is also in charge of Bowtie Solutions. So we're going to find out what exactly Bowtie Solutions does and how they help you, the dealers at large. So Matt Raymond, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. So yeah, I'll jump right in with Bowtie Solutions.
Let's do it.
So we built it inside the walls of a dealership for a CSI issue that we were having with one of our stores because they didn't want to talk to our centralized BDC. And
who didn't want to talk to your
customers didn't want to talk.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because we would answer the phone, thank you for calling Team Auto Group, instead of saying the store name because we didn't know where they were calling from. Okay. And then we would ask what store they were calling about. Well, we were able to, because all our stores are close together, so we were able to build some technology and partner with a technology company, I should say, and label the lines. So then the calls came in and we could answer those stores.
Okay.
And I was like, wait a second. We're doing this for our service department, and the auto industry could really use a nice outsourced call center that is customizing it instead of it just being people just answering the phones to answer the phones. So we put custom processes in place and built out all of that so that when we answer for dealer clients, our knowledge base, we can tell them where their night drop box is to drop off their keys. We can tell them who they use for tow service. We act as like an extension of the dealership's arm so that their customers feel like they're actually talking to the dealership while they're talking to an outsourced call center.
Interesting. And have you seen a rise in appointment setting because of that?
So we do outbound campaigns, and that's kind of where we bring it to life for appointments for them, because we'll take 1,000 customers, 2,000 customers, we put them into our system, and our agents we call it smiling and dialing. So they just go to work smiling and dialing all day long and set appointments for dealers. There's a lot of great dealerships out there that we work with that have service BDCs, but they don't have the manpower to go through all the manifest lists and my rewards lists and all those other recall lists. So we do that for them.
Oh my goodness. How many people can one person smile and dial in a day?
So our agents on average do 200 to 250. I have a couple that can get over 300.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yep. Oh my goodness. You have some good workers on your team.
It's just process because their headsets don't come off their head and the computer will dial. And then when they're done, they put all the notes in, and when they hit the hang up button, it'll call the next customer. It's not a robo system. It just calls. So every time an agent used to have to pick up the phone, that's where they get on TikTok and other things. Now, when they're locked in, as soon as they hang up, it's on to the next call.
Oh my goodness. Yep. That is incredible. The butts and seats that it takes to do that.
Yeah.
And you service the entire country?
We service the entire country. And we do very customizable. So we can do all the BD, like all full service BDC, or we can just do overflow or outbound campaigns.
Okay. So let's get into some other stuff, because I can't help but notice that on your shirt, it says AI.
It does.
So not the AI that we're all
buzzing about,
but you say actual individuals.
Yep, we have real humans. We use real live people. We're located in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you hire our company, you will have some twang in there on some of our agents, but that goes over really well. People love to hear that. But yeah, we use real humans. I think there's a huge place in automotive for AI or anything in the world, but there's a part where people call in and, the grandmother calls because her car broke down and she's trying to go to her grandson's graduation. She doesn't want to talk to AI. She wants to talk to a real human that can be empathetic and get her on, get on the phone and really put some feeling behind it. So that's what we do. We get our agents that they're on the phones, they're having conversations, and we team up with the dealers to pass on all the information they get and stuff like that. So it's about being an arm of the dealership without them having to incur all that extra expense and people, right? I mean,
okay,
people
so
are hard.
That is an excellent point. Let's get into that, because there are a lot of dealers out there who do, of course, have an internal BDC.
Correct.
What is the argument? I think every dealer would like to know the answer to this. What's the argument for and against? And I know it's a weighted question for you,
right,
but how do you overcome that with a dealer that you're meeting with who already has an internal BDC?
Yeah, so one of the big things I'd like to do is,
what's the advantage?
I would tell them, like, if they said, hey, Matt, why do I need you? I already have a BDC. I'd be like, cool. How about you put our BDC behind your BDC, and all I'm going to do is pick up the calls you missed. I had a dealer group come to us, and we did that with them.
Okay.
They gave us 2 rooftops to work with. They said, you're going to get 400 calls a month. We handled 1,300 calls, set 295 appointments. Forbes released an article saying that if a customer doesn't get a hold of somebody when they call in, 80% of them will defect.
Of course.
So 80% of 1,300 people, that's a lot of defects.
That's a lot of people in a very localized PMA.
Correct. So we started doing that. And then they said, they're like, I think we're going to hire somebody to be our BDC. And I'm like, where are you going to hire somebody? You're going to have to train them. You're going to, and they're like, yeah, you're right. We're just going to stick with you guys. And so now we do their whole BDC.
Wow. Okay. Without giving us your pricing, because of course, if you're interested, you should just contact Bowtie Solutions, directly. But is it more cost effective to do a Bowtie Solutions thing or to have an internal BDC? Because I think a lot of dealers believe that it's more effective to do an internal one.
Right.
But is that a fallacy?
On the service side, it is. It's cheaper to outsource it because anytime you're staffing up a company and you're using real people, you need about 1.5 people for every employee because you got vacation time, sick time, whatever. So let's just use it. A simple small store.
Okay.
You need at least 2 people. And the average wages and stuff you're looking with benefits and everything, maybe $4,000, $4,500 a month per person. So times 2, now you're $9,000. And then you've got to deal with sick days, you've got to deal with call outs, whatever it might be.
Plus, I don't think they have that robocall thing that you were telling us about.
No, because they're and the problem is when they're in store, they become, people walk to them for answers, right? And if I walk into a in-store BDC and I want to talk to the young man or young woman answering the phone and say, hey, what about this or what about that? I'm taking them off of being able to make outbound calls. I'm starting to distract them. And I don't know how many stores that I've been into, because I'll go in when dealers sign up, I'll go meet their staff and stuff. I've walked into stores and watched people running around with Post-it notes. Oh, I got to give this to the service advisor. I got to go over here. I got to go over there. We don't deal with that at all. We put everything in. Like if somebody calls in for a TO status check, we TO over to the dealer. We have a paper trail. We can see what was sent in the message, everything right to the
and it goes
advisors,
right into the CRM or whatever,
their email system.
In their email system.
We put in, or we can do text, but everybody likes email better. And so we send that TO over. There's a record of it, but we tell the customer they're really tied up, and we'll have them call you right back. And by doing that, the customer knows somebody helped them, and then the dealer just turns around and calls them back because advisors don't have the time to pick up the phone all the time.
No.
They're so busy with people in front of them, and their job is to make money by upselling, not answer the phone.
Okay. All right. So what were the trends that you saw in 2023?
So for us, on the service side of things, we've seen a lot of recalls popping up.
Really?
Yeah, and that was coming out of 2023 into 2024. We have a lot of Ford dealers right now that we work with.
Okay.
And Ford's big into the mobile recall program. And so that's what we've seen a lot of business, and we've been able to help out dealers by scheduling mobile recalls for their team. And we do it strategically. I won't get into it too much of it here. So they get on the phone, I'll tell them how we do it, but it's strategic. So we're not making their mobile units drive all over their area or whatever area they're handling.
Okay. So for 2024, we've been asking a lot of this for all of our presenters, as you've probably seen, audience. I'm just curious what you think is going to happen in 2024. What are things that dealers should be focusing on and maybe not focusing on other things? Do you have anything like that to share?
Yeah. So one of the things I noticed when we were building Bowtie Solutions was when you're building a company, you need to let people that do things really well just do it. And the problem with automotive, and I spent 13 years on the retail side, we want to do everything. Like we want to be the everybody to everything. And dealers do best at selling and servicing cars. That's it. Just do that. Let everybody else, like hire a call center to handle your service BDC, hire somebody to come in and, do your floors, don't have the detail kid come up and do it. Like, outsource some of the stuff you can outsource so you can free up the time of your employees. But
just concentrate on the clients.
Yeah. And just have that throughput that, because I don't know how many times when we put our software in, like everything's measurable. You can't get off a phone call without putting a disposition in there. So we're able to bring all these stats to the table. And I'll talk to dealers and they don't remember or they don't know the stats that they need to be looking at. Like most of them can't tell me how many calls they miss a day.
Really?
And that's a big thing. Like you have to know how many calls you're missing. And then when they miss a call, where does it go? Who's in?
Okay, but do they guess and they guess wrong? They underguess?
Some overguess, some underguess.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But like I was at a store recently and I got there at 7:30 in the morning because their service opens up. And the young lady was talking to me and I'm like, oh, the phone's ringing. You can get it. And she's like, no, I don't pick it up till 8. I'm like, why? And she's like, well, because we don't answer the phones till 8. I'm like, yeah, but somebody needs you guys. And I said, where's it going? She goes, oh, it goes into the cashier. She'll answer it. You know where that call went? It went to the general sales manager's office, and he wasn't until 9. Like,
wow.
And it's
that seems like a process problem.
It's a process problem. And so by having technology that helps you find like the blind spots, that's how you fix. No, because nobody's perfect.
No.
Nobody's perfect.
Absolutely. Okay, so as I said at the end of my last broadcast, I said he was a 40 under 40 winner. Now, you won the 40 under 40 before you started Bowtie Solutions. So, like, what'd you win it for? What'd you do to get you a 40 under 40? Because, I mean, I'm older than you, so I'm already, like, out. I can't win a 40 under 40.
So you couldn't turn 40 before July 31st, and my birthday was August 3rd, so I barely made it. And but I had always wanted it since I got in the auto industry and heard about the award. It just seemed like a really cool award to go for.
Definitely.
And I was big in the BDC world. I mean, I did everything from BDC all through the BDC from my career in. I mean, I was in sales for a little bit, but I love to be in there smiling and dialing, as I say. And so
Are you like the expert smiler and dialer?
I wouldn't say expert, but I can definitely smile and I can definitely dial. And so I built a BDC at Team Auto Group when Kristen Dillard recruited me to come down there. We built a sales BDC, we built a service BDC, and then, like I said, I saw a need for this in the industry, and just my understanding and knowledge of BDC is what got me in 40 under 40.
Now, how come you went on the service side and not on the sales side?
Because I think sales should be kept in-house. I just said that out loud, but I think it should. There's some really good outsourced BDCs there, and I have a lot of respect.
Dude, I didn't even know I was going to ask you that question.
The problem with there's a lot of rules and stuff there, and when a customer, I mean, if you look at any sales BDC, there's 20, 30 text messages back and forth. Customers, services, they call in, schedule the appointment. Sales, there's so many other factors that can come into play. Now, where I think if you're going to outsource something, if I'm a dealership, here's my golden nugget, right?
Go ahead.
If I'm a dealership and I'm running a sales BDC in-house, I would turn around and hire a company. There's a handful out there to do campaigns where they go in and grab old leads and they just smile and dial and see what they can kick up. Because let's face it, as the lead gets older and older and older, less and less people touch it.
Right.
But there's always people there that will, pick up. And
I mean, it took me 6 months to buy a car. I could have been one of those people.
So we did we had a dealer group that we had one store that gave us sales way in the beginning, and I didn't want it, but we worked together on it with them. We found we went from 60 days all the way back to 120 days of customers, and just sent them a text and a call. We found 90 people that bought elsewhere.
Whoa!
90 people that bought elsewhere, and there was a CRM company that.
Well, you had that one lady at the store that didn't even answer the phone. So
right. Well, and our software will tell you if you're reaching out to a landline or if you're reaching out to a cell phone.
Right.
And we had one dealer where I was auditing their CRM for them, and they were texting somebody every day asking them about the car, and they were texting the landline, and the CRM company wouldn't even tell you that it was a landline.
Oh man!
And so they're doing the job, right, checking the box, and they're not actually having any contact if you can't text the landline.
I think we froze again. I don't know. Are we still live?
Okay, we're gonna do it again here.
We're still good? Here, I'll put this down a little bit. All right. So thank you for those stories. I know we have to wrap this up because we are getting to the end of our time together, Matt Raymond, over at Bowtie Solutions. By the way, I have my handy dandy chapstick.
Yes, I still have 120 more to give out if anybody needs chapstick.
Find him on the NADA show hall floor. Okay. Thank you so much for being here today. Oh, before I let you go, what was the best advice you ever got?
So treat everybody as a first impression, because it could be the last impression.
Matt Raymond, 40 under 40. Listen to this guy. Follow him on LinkedIn if you can. He puts out some great stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have one more presenter today on the first day of NADA, and it is Jessica Caldwell from Edmonds. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned. We'll be back in just another few minutes. Thanks, everyone. Time to wave.
it.